play sports or?
I love to play sports. I don't get to do them as often as I'd like. I run. I love to play racquetball. I like to downhill ski. I like to water ski, but I haven't done that in quite a while. Let's see what else. I like to play catch, baseball, softball. I'm a big football player, but you can't do that after a certain age. You get hurt.
Yeah, are you a tea or coffee drinker?
A tea or a coffee drinker? Well, I'm not much of a coffee drinker. I do occasionally drink tea, especially when it's really cold outside, or maybe if I need a little caffeine, right? Because I don't drink any soda. None.
Really?
None.
That's
I quit about 2 years ago.
okay. There's just a kind of a stereotype. I'm not sure why this came up or who wrote this. Do you like donuts?
Do I like donuts? Actually, I'm not a stereotype guy, and so since there is a stereotype out there that police officers like donuts, I don't eat donuts. Unless they're the mini ones that you get at the state fair. Those are really good.
Why do schools have policemen?
Why do schools have policemen?
Yeah.
Well, the best part of my job is I get to respond to students who have projects. I also do a lot of work at the elementary schools dealing with things like Halloween safety, stranger danger, bullying, theft, that sort of thing, to try and do preventative programs. I teach DARE, and then I also provide classes in science, fingerprinting, taser, radar for high school, middle school, and elementary schools. And in addition, I also do all of the enforcement kinds of things. So if someone were to commit a crime at, say, the Art Tech, I would be one of the people that might come here and investigate that. I might deal with the student or students involved, both the victims, witnesses, and possibly a suspect, and deal with any consequences of that action, such as if somebody needed to go to jail, or if somebody needed to have a citation written so that they could talk to a judge, or go through corrections, we would do that. So I kind of have a lot of different responsibilities at school. But the biggest one is to make sure that you guys are safe here.
What kind of gun do you carry?
What kind of gun do I carry? I carry a Glock, and it's a .45.
Not 17. Oh, only $5. Pay up, Cole.
A 17 is a 9mm.
And do you like to hunt?
I do like to hunt. Unfortunately, I don't get a lot of time off to do that. I like to pheasant hunt, and I would love to go out and deer hunt. I have done mostly pheasant hunting.
What are some of the big crimes you've investigated?
Oh gosh. Well, keep in mind, I haven't always worked in Northfield. And at my first department, I investigated everything from murders to unattended deaths, which means somebody died and they don't know why that person died, to traffic stuff, a lot of DUIs.
What's DUI?
A DUI is driving under the influence or driving while intoxicated.
How many people have you arrested?
In my first department, I arrested 350 people for DUI in just over 3 years. That's just DUI, so I would have to say thousands.
That's a lot. Are you married?
I am.
Do you have children?
I have 3 children. I have a 9-year-old. I have a 6-year-old. Those are girls. And then I have a 1-year-old little boy.
Oh, cool. What are your goals here?
What are my goals here at the school, or my goals here at... Okay. I would like to make sure that people are safe here at the schools. That's my biggest goal. And you never know what that entails. Most days, that's pretty routine kind of stuff. But as we all learned in Arizona the other day, it can change really fast anywhere in the world. And that, so one of the things that I do is one of my goals is to train so that when and if that day ever comes here in Northfield, I'm prepared.
Do you always want to be a policeman?
Did I always want to be a policeman? Yeah, that started about when I was 9.
Really?
Yeah, I decided that I didn't want to have a job where I had to sit in an office for 40 hours a week, because my dad did that and that didn't look very fun. Okay? And I like being outdoors and I like dealing with people. I even like dealing with people when they really don't want to deal with me. And that's a quality you kind of have if you're going to be a police officer. Because sometimes people just don't want to talk with you or don't want to have contact with you. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah.
And I enjoy that.
Were you in the military?
I was. I spent 11 years in the United States Army Reserve and a couple of stints of active duty through the reserves.
Huh, cool. Why did you join the police?
Why did I join the police?
Mhm.
Well, there's reasons people get jobs, and one of them is you have to pay the bills, right? The financial part of it. So that's one of the things that the police does for me. However, there are much more lucrative jobs out there than law enforcement. But like I said, one of the things I wanted to do that was different in my career was I enjoy being outdoors and getting to work outside part of the time. I enjoy dealing with people. And I don't mind working late hours. I enjoy that part. I couldn't imagine having 2 days that have been the same. I don't want to do the same thing over and over again. Have you ever done that? I worked in a factory to pay my way through college, and every day you'd look at the same part and do the same thing on the same part every day.
What's the point?
Those are some really long days. Law enforcement days typically aren't that way. They go by very quickly because you're always doing something new, fresh, and different. Sometimes it's not something you really want to be doing, but at least tomorrow you don't have to do that. Only today.
What kind of books do you like?
What kind of books do I like? Actually, I read books on child behavior, so I'm trying to learn how to better read that. Other things I like military books, because that's a long time been one of my hobbies. I actually started reading military books in about 3rd grade. And then I like books that are a study of law enforcement or help me to train to do my job. And some of them are factual and some of them are fiction.
Cool. I think that's about it. How are you trained?
I went through military police academy. That was the first place that I started. That was through the military. And then I went to 4 years of college. It's not required that you go through 4 years of college, but at the time I started college, I was young enough that if I went to a 2-year college, I would graduate from school and have to wait to get a job, because in Minnesota you have to be 21 years old to get a job.
Really? I thought it was 16.
Well, that's that kind of job. In law enforcement you have to be at least 21. So I didn't want to get out of school and then have to wait to get a job. So I went and did a 4-year degree right away. And then I went to the South Dakota State Police Academy because I started my law enforcement career in Rapid City, South Dakota. And then after that I came back and took a test to prove that I had those skills, and then was able to get hired in Minnesota.